If we begin by kneeling on our mat, so shins on the floor, palms on the heels, and just for a moment, close your eyes. Tilt the pelvis forwards, lengthen in your spine, reaching through the crown of your head. Lift your heart, relax your shoulders, and just breathe normally. Finding some stillness in your day. Bringing your focus, your awareness, bring your concentration into your breathing. So maybe this is the first time today or in the last week that you've paid your breath any attention. Notice how you're breathing, the quality of every breath. The temperature of the air passing in through the nose, and the temperature of the breath coming back out through your nose. The movement of your lungs, your rib cage. Observe where in your body you're breathing into. Maybe it's shallow, maybe it's deep. Whatever you find as you focus, do not wish that it was otherwise. Do not think it should be any different. Find yourself as you are now, and know that that is okay. Accept it. Be as you are. As you find some stillness in your body, some stillness in your day, finding stillness in your mind. Quietening your mind as you move from your head into your heart. Moving from thought to feeling. No thoughts need thinking about. Be in your body. Be in your breath. And then start breathing in for a count of 4. Holding your breath for a count of 4. Exhaling for a count of 4. Holding the exhale for a count of 4. Samavriti pranayama. Equal ratio breathing. 4 parts of every breath, each as long as the other. So breathing is under control. Counting at a speed, at a pace that's comfortable for you. Counting for longer, if necessary, if you feel like it. But make it manageable. If you're able to be aware of your heart beating, then use the beating of your heart as the measure of your breath. So breathing in for a count of 4 heartbeats, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. Otherwise, if you cannot find your heart, just count the breath using your mind. The number that you count to is not important, it's the ratio of the breathing. Just making sure that each part of your breath, all 4 parts, are as long as the other. And then breathing in for a count of 7, holding for 1. Exhaling for 7, holding for 1. Anahata, centering pranayama, heart chakra. The inhale, the exhale, a measure of 7. The pause, either side, just for a moment, counting to 1. 7, 1, 7, 1. Few more rounds, a little bit longer. And then stop counting the breathing. Just breathing deeply, breathing strong. Your deep yogic breathing. Diaphragmatic breaths, breathing in and out of the belly. Every breath through the nose. Every inhale, your maximum lung capacity, the belly expands. Every exhale, squeezing the belly button into the spine, pushing the diaphragm, pushing the breath out of your lungs. Every inhale deeper. Every exhale longer and stronger. Every breath under your control, maintaining this for the rest of your practice. So opening your eyes. To begin with, big toes touching, bring your knees to be mat width apart, hands on the knees, pull the chest forward, so tilt the pelvis forward, pulling the chest through the arms, nice curve in the lower spine, and then pivoting from the pelvis, hinging forwards, bring your forehead to hover above your mats. So keep the bum on the heels, long through the spine, through the crown of the head. Either the hands stay on the knees, otherwise bring the hands together behind the back, clasping the fingers, pushing the palms away. The elbows are locked in, the shoulder blades are squeezing close. Again, the bum stays on the heels as you lengthen through the whole of your spine, lengthening through the crown of your head. Deep belly breaths, holding here. 2 more breaths. Feel your body move as you breathe. And gently placing your forehead on your mats. Keep the hands together behind the back and then work the rotation in your shoulders. So start bringing the hands up towards the ceiling. The palms are facing towards you, the bum stays on the heels. With every exhale, trying to push the arms further. So every inhale, breathe into that tension, breathe into the tightness of your shoulders, of your armpits. As you exhale, try to take the hands further overhead. Experiment, try palms open or palms squeezing together. See which works your body better. 1 more breath. And then rolling onto the crown of your head. The bum comes up in the air, the bum away from the heels, your hips are above your knees. Working more rotation into your shoulders. So push away through the crown of your head. Support the weight of the body on the head. With every exhale, bringing more rotation into your shoulders. Deep belly breathing. Every inhale, again, find that connection to the tension, to the tightness. And as you exhale, push through it. Release that tension. Bring more mobility. Increase the range of motion in your shoulders. 1 more breath. And then gently back onto your forehead, bum back to the heels. Reach your hands towards the top of your mats, extended child's pose. So forehead on the floor, Just keep on crawling your fingers forwards, trying to pull your spine out of your hips. So again, the bum stays on the heels. Just crawling the fingers away from you, lengthening through the arms, reaching through the arms. Pull the spine out of the hips. Feel that lengthening in your lower back, your lower spine. 2 more breaths. And then looking up between the hands, walk your hands away from you. So the bum comes up now, the hips are above the knees. Your hands stretched out in front of you, coming to puppy pose. So either forehead on the floor. Imagine someone's pushing you between your shoulder blades, trying to press your chest onto your mats. Either working here, otherwise look up between the hands, try and press your chest and your chin to the floor at the same time. So again, someone's pushing you between your shoulder blades, trying to help melt your heart onto your mats. 2 more breaths. Breathing into the chest, across the armpits, and then sliding backwards, the bum comes back to the heels. Press down through the palms, spread the fingers wide, tuck the knees in slightly. Tuck the toes, and then press down through the hands to lift your knees. So shins are parallel to the floor. Try and pull your forehead as close to your mats as your knees are. So pulling the head through the arms towards the floor. The bum is on the heels, you're sitting on the heels, the shins are hovering, pressing down through the hands, and then nice and slowly lifting the hips, straightening the legs, downward facing dog. Leisurely, with as many steps as you can, walk the feet to come between the hands, walking all the way forwards to a forward fold. So big toes touching, small gap between the heels, straightening through the legs, hanging out the hips as you tilt the pelvis forwards, soften your spine, allow your head to hang. 2 more breaths. And then slowly stacking each vertebrae one on top of the other, coming all the way up to standing, coming to Tadasana, mountain pose. So big toes touching, small gap between the heels, straightening through the legs, lengthening through the spine, rolling shoulder blades back towards each other, palms facing the front. Deep belly breath in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling, reaching up to the ceilings, deep belly breath. Exhaling, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, the right foot steps back, comes to runner's lunge. Holding the breath, kick back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chins on the mat, bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding into cobra, pushing hips down, lifting shoulders. As we exhale, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the right foot between the hands. Exhaling, left foot between the hands. Inhaling, pressing down through the heels, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. And again, breathing in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling long through the side bodies, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, the left foot steps back, comes to runner's lunge. Holding the breath, kicking back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chins on the mat, bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding into cobra, pushing hips down, lifting shoulders. As we exhale, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the left foot between the hands. Exhaling, right foot between the hands. Inhaling, reaching through the whole of the body, deep belly breath. Exhaling, returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhaling, both hands reach up to the ceiling, placing the left hand on the left thigh. As you exhale, the right hand reaches over to the left side of the room, sending your hips over to the right, reaching the right hand over to the left. Every exhale, try and bring the left hand further down the left leg, and drawing the right shoulder blade backwards so you can see underneath the arm, up towards the ceiling. Breathing into the right lung, use that space you've created. One more breath, and then inhaling, both hands reach up to the ceiling, right hand on the right leg. As you exhale, bending the other way, left hand reaching over to the right side of the room, right hand sliding down the right leg, lengthening through the whole of your body. Press down through the heels, pull the left shoulder blade backwards So you can see underneath the arm and up towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths. And then inhaling, both hands reaching up to the ceiling. As we exhale, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Step or jump back to a plank. Half press up, chaturanga. Come down low to your mats, elbows close into the body, hovering above the floor. And then as we inhale, upward facing dog. So pressing down the tops of the feet to lift the knees, lift the hips, pulling your chest through the arms, pressing down through the palms, drawing your shoulder blades in as close as you can. As you press away through the palms, your shoulders coming away from your ears, as you lengthen through the crown of your head, head coming up towards the ceiling. Pull the chest through the arms, shoulder blades coming in closer behind you. Deeper breaths, breathing into the back bend, pressing harder on the hands, pressing harder on the feet. 2 more breaths. And then as we exhale, tucking the toes, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Look between the hands. As we inhale, step the right foot between the hands. Exhaling, place the left heel on your mats. Inhaling, warrior ones. Hands reaching up to the ceiling, hips squared to the front of your mats. Exhaling, folding forwards, kicking back to plank. Optional, right leg lifted. Everybody press up. Up dog. Right toes back on the floor. Downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the left foot between the hands. Exhaling, right heel to your mats. Inhaling, warrior ones. Exhaling, folding forwards, hands on the floor, kicking back to plank. Optional, left leg lifted. Everyone press up. Up dog. Left toes back on the floor. Downward facing dog. Hop, step or jump back to forward fold. And then settling here. So toes spread wide. Press down through your heels. Straighten your legs as much as you can without locking the knees in. Tilting your pelvis forwards, hanging out the hips. Soften and lengthen through the whole of your spine. Maybe you stay with the hands on the floor or you hold onto your elbows. Another suggestion, bring the hands together behind the back, clasp the fingers, push the hands away, lock the elbows in, and then working the rotation in your shoulders, trying to bring your arms overhead. Two more breaths. And then placing your hands on your mats, stepping back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, lift the right leg nice and high, point through the toes, lift the right leg as high as you can. Pressing down through the left heel, bring your head closer to your left knee. Lift the right leg even higher. And then slowly bending the right knee, bring the right knee into the chest, and then stepping the right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee to the floor, top of the left foot on the mat. As we inhale, reaching off the ceiling, exhaling, crescent moon lunge. So sinking down in the hips, lunging forwards towards the right heel. The hips move forwards, the hands reach behind you, try to draw your arms behind your head, so you're opening your chest, lifting your heart, more space for your lungs to breathe even deeper. For more space, for a deeper lunge, you can take your right foot further out in front of you. Continue working with your arms as they are, otherwise, a suggestion, reverse namaste. So bring your hands together behind your back, pressing the palms together between your shoulder blades. You're then trying to pull your elbows back to lift the chest, lift the heart, elbows drawing to the back of the room, hips moving to the front of the room. Make sure you're pulling your right hip back, left hip forward, stabilizing yourselves to the front of your mats. Two more breaths wherever you are. Exhaling deeper in the hip, lunging deeper. Inhaling, both hands reach up to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Hands on the floor on the inside of the right leg. Lizard lunge. Keep the whole sole of your right foot grounded down to your mats. Drop your shoulders as low as you can. All of your body weight on the inside of the right thigh. Walk your hands away from you. Maybe you come onto your forearms. Maybe you come onto your elbows. Make sure the whole sole of your right foot is connected to your mats. If your heel's coming away, maybe sacrifice distance come up. It might be you need to bring your right foot further forwards to get that heel down, and the right knee needs to be going the same direction as your toes. If you've adjusted and your knee is at a different angle to where your toes are facing, turn your toes to face the same direction as your knee. So being mindful of this, if you are on your elbows, maybe you can place your forehead on your mats as well. One more breath. And then coming up on the hands, bring your right hand on the outside of the right leg. Your hips are above your left knee. Walk your right foot away from you. And then pull the right toes back to get the right knee locked in. Keeping the knee locked, tilt from the pelvis, lengthen through your spine, and walk your hands away from you. Try and keep coming out of your hips as you then fold forward over the right leg, but only going as far as you can with the right knee locked in. So if your right knee starts to bend, sacrifice distance, pull it back, get that tilt in the pelvis, get the knee locked in, your toes are pulling back towards you so you can feel the work from the right hip all the way down to the right heel. 3 more breaths, wherever you are, deep belly breathing. Every exhale, pull the belly away from the thigh, round the spine, coming further forwards. And then pulling the hands back, pulling the right heel back, bring your heel underneath your right knee, and then come up, shoulders above the hips, hands at the heart. As we exhale, twisting on the spine, looking over to the right side of the room. Twist as far as you can, and then bring the left hand onto the right thigh, and reach the right hand behind you. Try to bring the right hand above the left foot. You're using your left arm to pull on the right leg, to twist on the spine, to look further behind you. So look at your right thumb, reaching for the back of the room. Try to make sure your hips stay square to the front as you twist on the spine, turning your chest towards the back of the room. 2 more breaths. Pulling harder, using your left hand. And then inhaling, both hands reach up at the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Hands either side of the right leg, kicking the right leg back. Downward facing dog. So back in your downward facing dog. Lift the left leg as high as you can, pointing through the toes, pressing down and back through the right heel, lifting the left leg even higher. Pull your head towards your right leg, so head coming through your arms towards the back of the room. Lift the left leg even higher. And then bending the left knee, bring the left knee into the chest, rolling forward, step the left foot between the hands. Right knee to the floor, top of the right foot on the mat. Inhaling, up for the ceiling. Exhaling, crescent moon lunge. So again, deep in the hips. Take that left foot as far away from you as you need to really sink deep in the hips. Every exhale, trying to let go even more, getting closer to the left heel. Again, keep working with the arms overhead, otherwise reverse namaste, hands pressing the palms together between your shoulder blades behind you as you pull your elbows backwards, lifting your chest, lifting your heart, more space for your lungs, deeper breaths. If you're struggling to bring the whole of your palms together, you can just try holding your elbows behind you and then pulling your shoulder blades backwards. Still gives you a similar movement in your body. 3 more breaths, deeper in the hips. Draw the shoulders backwards, lift your chest, deeper breaths. And inhaling, both hands reach up to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Again, setting up for your lizard lunge. So no part of your left foot leaves the floor as you drop your shoulders low on the inside of the leg. Walking your hands forwards, coming down to your forearms, maybe your elbows, maybe your foreheads. Again, just being very mindful that your left knee, your knee all the time, whatever you do, your knee has to be pointing the same direction as your toes. Whenever your knee is facing a different way to your toes, you're jeopardizing the long-term health of your knees. Two more breaths. And then slowly, coming up on your hands. The left hand comes on the outside of the left leg, your hips above your right knee, walking your left toes away from you, and then pulling the left toes back, left knee locked in. Tilt from the pelvis, lengthen through your spine, walking your hands away from you. Strong breaths as you fold long over the left leg, keeping the left knee locked in. So imagine with your hips, imagine you're carrying water, and you're trying to pour that water towards the left heel. So pouring, tilting the hips forwards as you draw your left toes back towards you. 3 more breaths. And pulling the hands back, pulling the left heel back, the heel underneath the knee, bringing the hands to the heart, the shoulders above the hips. As we exhale, twisting on the spine, looking over to the left side of the room. The right hand grabs the outside of the left thigh, and the left hand reaches behind you. The left hand above the right foot. Use the strength of your right arm to pull the chest, twisting more to the back of the room as you look at your left thumb. But again, keep your hips square to the front of your mats. So keep pulling the left hip backwards and the right hip forwards, twisting on your spine, looking behind you. 3 more breaths. Make sure you're reaching through the left arm, reaching for the back of the room. Inhaling, both hands reach up at the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Hands either side of the left foot, kicking the left foot back. Downward facing dog. Option to rest, option to freestyle, otherwise vinyasa. Inhaling to a plank. Exhaling to a press up. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Hop, step or jump back to a forward fold. So feet between the hands, big toes together, small gap between the heels. As you inhale, reach both hands up to the ceiling, reaching through the whole of your body, pressing down through the heels. As you exhale, bend the knees, fingertips touch the mats, keep the bums low, and bring the hands to your heart. Imaginary chair pose. If you look down, you should be able to see all 10 toes. If you can't, take your knees further back, drop your bums low, lengthen through your spine, draw your shoulder blades in close, keep the back flat, keep the heels strong and toes gripping onto your mats. Deep breath in as we exhale, twist on the spine and bring your right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. The left elbow is high up towards the ceiling. Your fingers are pointing the same direction as your toes, so pointing to the front of the room. Pressing the left hand into the right hand, try and pull your chest to your thumbs. And as we twist here in our chair pose, there's a tendency for the right knee to slide forwards. So pull the right knee back, keep the knees in line, and keep your hips level. 2 more breaths. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling, going the other way. Left elbow on the outside of the right thigh, pulling the chest to the thumbs. The right elbow is high up towards the ceiling, fingers pointing the same direction as your toes, pulling the left knee back, keep the knees level, keep the right elbow high, keep the arms strong. Deep breaths, breathing in the twist. 2 more breaths. And as we inhale, coming back to center, exhaling, hands on the mats, stepping or jumping back to a plank. And lifting your hips, downward facing dog. Back in your downward facing dog, lifting the right leg as high as you can, bend the right knee, and open the hips. So the right knee is the highest point of your body. The right hip is on top of the left hip. As you open your hips to the right side of the room, make sure you don't move on the ball of the left foot. The left heel stays pressing to the back of your mats, and you're strong through your arms, through your shoulders, bringing your head closer to the left knee. Can you see your right toes from underneath your left armpit? Slowly, bringing the right leg forwards to step the right foot between the hands. Keeping your left knee high, we're going to reach up into a high lunge. So pressing down through the right heel, hands reach up to the ceiling. As we exhale, sink into your hips and bring your hands to your heart. So feet are facing the same direction. And then just checking your alignment. The right knee wants to be above or before the ankle. If your knee is traveling over your ankle, bring the right foot further forwards. Get low in your hips, trying to bring the right thigh to be parallel to the floor. If this becomes a bit too strong, you can always ease off by straightening the front leg or bring your left knee onto the floor behind you. So low in the hips, bring your right hip back, left hip forwards to stabilize yourselves, squaring your hips to the front of your mats. The left leg is strong. Pushing back through the left heel, there's almost no bend in the left knee. Your shoulders are above your hips, your hands pressing together with your heart. One more breath. And then reaching your arms in front of you, holding an imaginary beach ball. As we exhale, rotating 45 degrees right over the right thigh. Either staying here, otherwise the left hand grabs the outside of the right thigh and you reach the right hand behind you, try to bring the right hand above the left heel. Keep the legs strong, so press down through the right heel, back through the left heel, twisting on the spine, looking behind you, trying to look at your right thumb as you reach for the back of the room. 2 more breaths. And then inhaling, both hands reach up to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards, hands on the mats, kicking the right foot back. Downward facing dog. In your down dog, lifting the left leg high, bending the left knee, opening the hip. So again, hips open to the left side of the room. The left knee at the highest point of your body, left hip on top of the right hip as you press down and back through the right heel. Bring your head closer to the right knee, strong from the shoulders, pressing away through the palms. Can you see your left toes from underneath your right armpit? And then slowly, bringing the left knee forwards to step the left foot between the hands. And then once again, high lunges. So pressing down through the left heel, reaching up to the ceiling. And then exhaling deep into the hips, hands on the heart. So again, check your alignment. Feet facing the same direction, low in your hips, squaring your hips to the front of your mats. Up to you how parallel your left thigh is to the floor. Shoulders above your hips. Strong breaths. Listen to every exhale, hear your breathing. And then holding an imaginary beach ball in front of you, rotating 45 degrees left over the left thigh. Either staying here, otherwise right hand grabs the outside of the left thigh and then reaching the left hand behind you. So push back through the right heel, keep your legs strong as you twist on your spine, looking behind you at your left thumb. Use the strength of your right arm to pull on the left thigh. Again, twisting on the spine, looking as far behind you as possible, balancing here. Deep breaths, strong breaths. One more breath. And then inhaling, both hands reach up at the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forwards. Kicking the left leg back. Downward facing dog. Hop, step or jump to Malasana, your deep yogi squats. So bring both feet outside both hands. If as you come into this, your heels are lifted, you might need to take your feet wider. If this brings your heels down, work here. Otherwise, if your heels are still hovering, come up until your heels are planted, and this will be where you work in your Malasana, your deep yogi squats. Keep pressing to the outside of the feet to take the knees wide. Your elbows come on the inside of the knees, and your palms come together as you bring them to the chest. Bit of pressure in the heels, keep the legs active, keep them strong. As you lengthen through the crown of your head, drawing your shoulder blades in close to lengthen and flatten through the whole of your back, the whole of your spine. 2 more breaths. And then gently placing your bums onto your mats. Bring the soles of your feet together. Grab a hold of your toes and then wiggle your heels and hips as close as you can bring them. So the closer they are, the deeper the work is in your thighs, in your hips. We want to make this movement in cobbler's pose. We want to make this movement from our pelvis. To do so, we need to keep the spine long, we need to keep the back flat. So we're not looking to round the spine, we're looking to keep lengthening through the crown of our head, pulling our chest forwards as we pull ourselves to the front of the room and over the toes. So coming lower and lower to your mat with every breath. As you get low enough, you can start to use your elbows to press down on your thighs to open your hips even more. Keep drawing your shoulder blades in close to really pull yourselves out of your hips, keeping your spine long. So the main focus here is using your elbows on your thighs. If you can maintain the rotation in your pelvis and your hips, then with a strong exhale, you can round your spine, bringing your forehead to your toes. Maybe to your toes, or maybe onto your mats in front of your feet. But again, main focus is keeping that length out of the hips, tilting from the pelvis, using the elbows to press down on the thighs, opening the hips wider. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then gently calming up. So, we're going to come to laying on our mats, but you're going to need your strap. So whatever you have a proper strap, yoga belt, just a normal belt, sock, whatever you can use, resistance band, this is going to help you in this next sequence. Maybe it's not necessary, but even if it isn't, still see which one you prefer. So, laying on your mats, feet on the floor, knees are bent. Bring your right knee to the chest, and then take your strap around the ball of the right foot. So don't place it on the middle of your foot or the heel, bring it to just beneath your toes. And then pushing through the heel of your foot, straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling, locking the right knee in. So keep the right knee locked in, toes drawing back towards you. And then make sure you have a good strong hold on your strap as you pull yourself up. So you're bringing your shoulder blades away from the floor, trying to bring your forehead to the right thigh or the right knee. Keep breathing, strong breaths. Maybe start to pull the right leg towards you, provided you can keep the right knee locked in. So keep pushing through your heel and then pulling the knee to your head. Continue working here, keep your shoulder blades high off the floor. Maybe you straighten your left leg along your mat, so pushing through the left heel, locking the left knee in. Again, as best you can, try to keep the right knee locked in. And maybe you bring your head onto your floor, onto your mats. Try to pull the right leg even closer toward you. Two more breaths, holding here, pushing through the right heel, pushing through the left heel, and then bring your strap to your left hand. Bring your right arm along the floor at shoulder height, the right palm facing the ceiling, as you pull the right leg over the body towards the floor on the left side of your mats. But keep your right leg off the floor. So you're placing your left elbow on the floor and using your strap to keep the right leg elevated as you push through the right heel, pressing your right shoulder blade back down into your mat, so twisting on the spine. Maybe you continue working here, otherwise use the strength of your left arm to pull that right foot towards the back of the room as much as you can. Again, keep both knees locked in, pushing your way through both heels. And whatever you're feeling in your body, breathing even deeper. Deep inhales, longer exhales, observing how every breath changes the intensity of the sensation you're experiencing in your body. One more breath, and then keep the right knee locked in as you bring the right leg back up towards the ceiling. Swapping your strap to your right hand, bring the left arm along the floor at shoulder height, palm facing the ceiling, and then keep your left hip down as you bring the right foot towards the floor on the right side of your mats. But again, don't let the right leg touch the floor. So placing the right elbow on the floor, pushing through the right heel, keep the right knee locked in. If your left hip does lift, then press it back down, maybe use your left hand to add that pressure to keep it grounded. If that means your left hip is still coming away from the floor, maybe just sacrifice distance and bring the right leg further up towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, keeping that right knee locked in. And maybe again you can use the strength of your right arm to pull the right foot towards the back of the room, opening that right hip a little bit more. But both knees locked in, both heels strong. A few more breaths. 2 more breaths. Listen to the exhale, hear your breathing. Keep the right knee locked in as you bring that right leg back up towards the ceiling. Releasing the strap, keep your right knee locked in, keep the right leg long, and slowly bring your right leg back down onto your mats. And then bending both knees, placing both feet on the floor, bringing your left knee into your chest. Take the strap around the ball of your left foot and straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. So left knee locked in. Keeping the left knee locked in. Bringing your forehead to your left knee, so shoulder blades are high off the floor. Pull a bit harder in your strap. Pull yourselves closer to your left leg. Maybe start bringing the left leg towards you. Again, keep pushing through the heel. Try and keep your left knee locked in as much as possible. Deep breaths. Up to you. Maybe you straighten the right leg along the floor, pushing through the right heel. Both knees locked in, both legs strong. Pulling on the strap, pulling the left leg towards you, and your head towards the left knee. And then placing your head back down on your mats. Keep pushing strong through both heels. Passing your straps to the right hand. Bring the left arm along the floor, shoulder height, palm facing the ceiling. And then bringing the left leg over the body towards the floor. The right elbow on the floor on the right side of your mats. Pushing through your left heel. Keep the left knee locked in. Keep your left shoulder blade connected to the floor. And up to you, if you pull the left foot towards the back of the room, more towards the back of your mats. But again, keep your left knee and your right knee locked in. So pushing away through both heels. Deep belly breaths. Two more breaths. Straighten the leg. Pull on the straps. Keep the left knee locked in. Bring the left leg back up towards the ceiling. And then swapping your straps to your left hand, bring the right arm along the floor, shoulder height, palm face the ceiling. Bringing the left leg towards the floor on the left side of your mats. Again, keep the knee locked in. Don't let the leg touch the floor, just the elbow on the floor, pulling on the strap, both knees locked in, pulling both sets of toes back towards you. Keep your right shoulder blade grounded down, keep your right hip on your mats. So if it's lifting, again you can use the right hand to push it back down, and maybe pulling on the straps, using the strength of your left arm to pull the left leg towards the back of the room. Deeper breaths. Breathing stronger. Barely breathing through the nose. Always breathing through the nose. One more breath, and then keeping your left knee locked in, bring the left leg back up towards the ceiling. Releasing the strap, keeping the left knee locked in. Bring your left leg long down onto the floor, and then bring both knees into the chest, wrap your arms around your legs, squeeze yourselves nice and tight, nice and small. Make sure your hips aren't lifting off the floor, so try and press your tailbones back down to your mats. As much of your spine as possible in contact with the floor as you use the strength of your arms to pull the knees tighter into the body as you breathe, your belly moving against your thighs. And then happy baby pose, grabbing the outsides of your feet, show the soles of your feet to the ceiling. Your heels are above your knees and you're trying to pull your knees either side of your ribcage. Again, make sure that your hips aren't lifting. So try and press your tailbones back down onto your mats, as much of your spine as possible in contact with the floor. Use the strength of your arms. Pulling on the feet, try and bring your knees closer to your mats either side of you. Maybe pull on one leg a bit more than the other. Explore how you can get deeper into your happy baby pose. But again, make sure you're using your breathing. Every inhale, breathing into your pelvic floor muscles, the backs of your thighs, into your hips, wherever you're feeling there's tension, there's tightness in the body. Inhale, breathe into, expand that area of your body, that biting point where the mind and the body are holding on too tight. As you exhale, let go. Practice letting go. Practice releasing, opening. Two more breaths. And then making your way, coming to sitting on your mats. So we're going to finish this evening with frog's pose. For frog's pose, we want to take our knees as wide as we can. So the wider we get, the more we're going to feel it. We also want to have our heels in line with our knees, the insides of our feet on the floor, and our toes pointing away from us. So take the knees wider, sink a bit deeper in the hips. We then want to come forwards and down onto our forearms. So make sure your hips start in front of your knees. When you're here, tilt your pelvis. So if you're familiar with cat-cow pose, we're looking for cow pose. So we're tilting the pelvis forwards, pushing our spine to the floor, creating a nice dip in the lower back. Imagine you're trying to hold a bowl in your lower back. You're resting that bowl in the curve of your spine. Maintain this tilt in the pelvis, and then start walking your arms backwards, back in towards you, to push the upper body back into the hips. Until you find that little biting point. Close your eyes and breathe there. Again, maintain that tilt in the pelvis. Keep using your arms to maintain that pressure, pushing the body back into the hips. But try to make sure your feet are relaxed, your legs are relaxed. Not holding on to any tension anywhere in your body. Just try to soften, maintain the pose, and use every breath. Every breath, a bridge between your mind and your body. Every breath, bring the two together, strengthening that connection. We're going to be holding this pose for a few breaths. So make it manageable. If it's too intense, if it's too much, ease off. Don't give up. Just give yourself a little bit of slack. It doesn't need to be hard work. You find more progress in your practice with the more patience you bring to it. As you breathe here, explore what you're feeling. Observe how every breath changes that sensation. With every breath in, the body expands. Every cell inside of you absorbs more oxygen, more energy, more electricity. The whole of your body grows. As you exhale, everything softens, everything lets go. Watch how every inhale and every exhale feels different. Every inhale brings you deeper inside your body. Every exhale allows you to rest. Wherever you're feeling this pose the most intense in that area of your body, observe how the exhale makes that sensation momentarily fade or maybe even disappear. That's the letting go. That's the releasing. Observe the physical sensations you experience here. Discomfort, tension, maybe warmth, temperature. Many sensations to explore. They don't need thinking about. Just watch the feeling, observe the feeling, feel it. You may find your mind, your focus tries to wander. You try to distract yourself from this sensation you've labeled as unpleasant, undesirable. No thoughts need thinking about. Do not label this experience. Do not try to identify it. Allow it to be as it is. As you hold this pose for longer, maybe feelings of boredom or things like frustration, irritation start to rise inside of you. Watch these as you watch your breathing, as you watch every sensation in your body. It's just a feeling. Energy, tension being released. Whatever you're holding on to, being let go of. But for it to be let go of, it must be felt. Hiding from this feeling, from the experience, only means that we carry it inside of ourselves. It leaves it there. These feelings are stored as tension, resistance inside ourselves, inside the body. Stay with the breathing, a few more breaths. Three more breaths. Stay focused. Breathing deeper. And coming forwards, bring your big toes together first of all, and then start walking your knees in, coming out of frog's pose. And making your way to Shavasana, final relaxation. So bring the feet into the corner of your mats, flops to either side, palms facing the ceiling, hands away from the body. Space in the legs, space in the armpits. Press each vertebrae down to your mats, the lower back, back of the neck. Try and bring as much of your spine to be supported by the floor beneath you. And then nothing left to do. Let go of control of your breath. Breathing easy. Breathing naturally, but staying focused. Still for now. No thoughts need thinking about. So be in your body. Be in what you feel. Observing the residual sensations left over from your practice. Let them go. Release, soften, relax your body with every exhale. Practice letting go. Give the weight of your body to the support of your mats beneath you. Let the floor hold you. Maybe this practice of opening your hips has stirred emotions inside of you. Whatever has arisen inside, let them go. What use is holding on to boredom, frustration, irritation? What use is holding on to anything? When we forget to let go, we just carry these things with us, heavy weights. Let go. Feel lighter. We do not need to carry these dense things from the past. Be in your body as it is now. Allow yourself to feel so that you can let go. Everything must move through you. So whatever comes, don't forget to let it go. Keep on letting go. And then breathing deeply, getting ready to move. Wiggling fingers and toes. Rotating wrists and ankles, and moving any way that feels good for you. Full body stretch, arms overhead, pointing to your toes, push your heels. Move how your body wants to move. And when you're ready, making your way to sitting on your mats. So deep hip opening poses can stir a lot of motion inside of us. We store a lot of emotional energy in our hips. So if you feel a bit unsettled for the next day or so, don't worry. Just let it pass through. So if you tuned in live with me now, thank you very much for spending this time with me. For those of you tuning in at a later time, thank you for sharing your time with me. And take care of yourselves. Namaste.